Yes, it's a thriller, destined to be a classic. You're sure to have goosebumps, not to mention mild confusion leading to moderate doubt, resulting in significant anxiety and lowered self-esteem. Not to mention you'll think you've gone straight bonkers. It's a thriller, folks, starring Charles Boyer.
Paula, is that really what I said? I think not.
And Ingrid Bergman.
But last night you looked me straight in the eye and said that. I just don't know what to believe anymore.
It's a phenomenon spreading all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. This phenomenon I'm talking about is insidious manipulation, otherwise known as gaslighting. Boy, it's a mind melt. Be the first to see this new thriller. We're sure you can relate. Gaslighting, starring Charles Boyer and Ingrid Bergman. You'll be asking yourself, where's my mind?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were going to cue the Gaslight movie after the promo there. I'm sorry, but I know we talked about in pre-production. We couldn't actually show you the Gaslight movie just for copyright reasons. But anyway, just don't mind me while I swallow my popcorn. Welcome to the pause button, you all. So nice to be back in 2023 with very serious episode about gaslighting, and I'm calling this episode Where Is My Mind? One of my favorite Pixie songs, and that's what it can feel like when you're being kind of under the spell of a gaslighter. Where is my mind? And I do want to start with the Maya Angelou quote, the late, great Maya Angelou. People will forget what you did. People will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I think with gaslighting, I mean, you know, it's sort of like this long term, like, how do you feel? You know, someone can make you feel really great, and then they make you feel horrible, and then great, and then horrible. And I like to think how we make people feel over time is a true testament to how we are as people. Gaslighting. I got a lot of requests for this topic, and a lot of people have asked me, you know, what is it really? What is gaslighting? You know, can you gaslight somebody and not know it? I've gotten so many questions about it, so I thought, let's do an episode. And who better than to read the official pause button definition of gaslighting, other than the Honorable Judge Stern. Let's bring the Honorable Judge Stern on. Welcome to the pause button.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Gaslighting. Sounding like Charles Boyer talking to Ingram Bergman in that movie. My darling, please, don't be sad. Don't be upset. You just don't know what you're talking about. No? Okay. No.
No. What? No.
Okay.
No.
Gaslighting is a colloquialism loosely defined as manipulating someone so to make them question their own reality. The term comes from the 1938 play and 1944 film called Gaslight. In both play and movie, the husband convinces his wife that she's imagining things that are actually happening. Hence, the wife thinks she's going insane. Now, I want to state here for the record on the pause button that gaslighting is cruel, and it's unfortunately not unusual punishment.
That is true, Judge. Thank you so much for reading the official pause button decree of gaslighting. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, it is not unusual. My work as a therapist, I see gaslighting a lot, or I see clients that have been, and somebody tell me, is it gaslighted, gaslit? But it really can cause extensive damage, but it is repairable damage. And what we are going to do today in this show is not only talk about gaslighting, what it is, what it sounds like, what it looks like, but more importantly, how to heal from it. And that's going to be the guided meditation for today, is how to heal from that type of discombobulation. But to set the tone, I'm kind of tripping over my tongue today. It's been a really long work day. But anyway, to set the tone, this is an old song that I wrote back in the 90s. It's called Afterthought, and it just seems to illustrate what it can feel like when you're under that spell of a gaslighter. So Renee, you can start the music video.
Lead me down on the afterthought, where the sun is set to shine. Not as long, maybe half as strong. Lead me down, bring me down. Down the night hallway, captive eye, toss a coin blind, a creeping haunt or an ageless taunt. Here the sun is set to shine. Lead me down on the afterthought, where the sun is set to shine. Not as long, maybe half as strong. Lead me down, lead me down. Bring me down, bring me down. Lead me down, lead me down.
And we are back. Renee, it looks like the slide was frozen. I actually had put together kind of a little music video, and it seems like it was stuck on that one slide. And but hopefully we'll fix that in the YouTube version and in the upcoming videos. And yeah, that I had some footage of carousels just going round and round in that video, because when you're under that spell of a gaslighter, it can really feel like you've just walked into a fun house. Like the floorboards are shifting, you can't get your footing, and the mirrors, are just kind of distorting, and you don't even know if you're going to get out of the fun house. You just don't even know. And it can certainly feel that way because a gaslighter wants you to question your senses, wants you to question your judgment and your perception, wants you to judge your own feelings. And like the official definition that we gave in the beginning, it is very cruel and it is very intentional. People have asked, can you gaslight somebody unintentionally? And I tend to lean toward no, but that's not to say, it's just my opinion. Because a gaslighter can always deny that they're gaslighting you. That's what they do, right? So even if they say, no, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't my intention. Very well could have been. So, okay. If you have walked away from multiple conversations with a person and you have just felt self-doubt, or you have felt like what you did wasn't a big deal when it was, chances are you were talking with a gaslighter. And it's a very nuanced way. It's a very incremental thing, kind of the slow drip, drip, drip. Doesn't happen all at once. Just like in the movie, it was a very slow kind of drip, drip, drip. And we're so susceptible to repetition, which is a part of it. Gaslighters are very charming. They're very good with logic and persuasion. And it tends to, people that are gaslighted, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, tend to be more empathic, tend to be more open and sensitive to other people's feelings, wanting to take care of other people. And gaslighters will just kind of glob onto folks like that. And in a way, it's almost like trying to hijack another person's brain, which is quite horrific, and we're all susceptible, I think, in a way, but just some more than others. And it can really be excruciating to not know which way's up, which way's down. Are these really my feelings? Am I really picking up on this? Is this the truth, or is this my imagination? A gaslighter wants you in that nebulous zone. So rather than focus on the problem, I'm a real big believer that knowledge is power. And when we have the knowledge, we have the power to be able to spot something like gaslighting a lot quicker than maybe before. So in this upcoming video, I've got, I have to say, these are like the OG pause button players, Diane Coll and Kathy Rice. They're going to do some role play reenactments. And then I've got just a little thing about what type of person tends to gaslight. So hopefully the slides won't freeze this time, Renee. Let's keep our fingers crossed that you all can see the slides that I put together to go with everything. Alrighty, let's cue the video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I present the pause button players to do some reenactments of what gaslighting sounds like, how it happens. The first one is minimization or humiliation.
You really hurt my feelings. I can't believe you told everyone at the party a personal secret that I trusted you with.
Paula, why are you being so sensitive? You need a thicker skin, mon chéri.
Denial. You really hurt my feelings. I can't believe you told everyone at the party a personal secret that I trusted you with.
Oh, Paula, please. I would never do that to you. Are you crazy? What makes you think I would do such a thing? Do you realize how much you're hurting my feelings, Paula?
Blaming.
You really hurt my feelings. I can't believe you told everyone at the party a personal secret that I trusted you with.
Well, you never should have told me the secret in the first place, Paula. You know very well I can't keep secrets.
And last but certainly not least, invalidation.
You really hurt my feelings. I cannot believe you told everyone at the party a personal secret that I trusted you with.
Oh my God, Paula, you're such a baby about these things. There should never be secrets. That's my motto.
So, who gaslights? What type of a person gaslights? Now, in a general sense, people who aim to gain power or to deflect away from taking responsibility. People who are very charming on the outside, yet so broken on the inside, their only way of holding themselves up is to tear others down. People who have an insatiable need to control others. People with any type of addiction who will do anything to protect and defend their addiction. That's a big one, and a very common one. The more prominent gaslighters tend to fall along what is called the cluster B group, meaning those with some type of diagnosable personality disorder, like narcissistic, antisocial, or borderline personality disorder. But boiling this all down, these are people who see gaslighting as their only means of surviving in the world. And that's actually pretty sad.
Oh, is that really what you believe? Wouldn't it make more sense for you to believe what I would like you to believe?
Ugh. Do you see what I mean? Now, ladies and gentlemen,
It's just never ending with the gaslighter. It never is. Yeah, I want to highlight one thing. And again, I apologize. I had a whole bunch of slides to go with that, but it appears when I sent them to Renee, there was just one slide. So I don't know what happened there. I guess they didn't download properly, but we will have the full videos on the YouTube version, which I'll make sure to share, because the visuals to go with that are, I don't know, I just think that they're fun and they're helpful. But the one thing I want to highlight is about addiction. That doesn't get talked about a lot in the literature with gaslighting, but it's a big one. You know, you think about it, someone with an addiction, any type of addiction, is going to gaslight to protect that addiction. And it's just a big one that doesn't get talked about a lot. And I do see a bunch of you are commenting. And Renee, I'm wondering if you could pull up some questions. I know M. Farwell's got one. How do you explain to someone that they are a gaslighter to people they care about? That's a tricky question, because it's almost like when you tell a gaslighter that they're gaslighting, it's almost like you get back on that carousel with them. You get back into the fun house with them. It just turns into more gaslighting. I think there are some ways to lessen it, and that is, let's say somebody is gaslighting. You don't reinforce the gaslighter, and you can see maybe they're gaslighting somebody in your family or in your group or your friends or whatever. Just don't reinforce their narrative and what they're doing. That's certainly a way to help, because sometimes when we call it out, it has the opposite effect. But that is a really good question. And I think another way to explain it, maybe not to explain it, but how to manage it, is just to establish better boundaries with that person. Don't buy the narrative. Stay firm and stay strong in what you are perceiving and feeling and doing. And I think one way is just to not give that power. Because, you just think about it, the whole kind of trap of gaslighting is denial, minimizing, humiliation, all of that. It could just meet with more of that. So it's one of those things, I'm a big believer in calling things out, but this is one thing where it's like, oh, you kind of have to be almost as nuanced as they are. I have family that get off on acting in this manner. Me too. Yeah, it's really hard. It is really hard when it's family. It is so hard when it's family. And to establish stronger and clearer boundaries, trying to have contact as minimal as possible. Christmas and Thanksgiving, see you next year, kind of thing. But then it can be hard if they're in the same house. Facebook user, I grew stronger from their wrong steps they took toward me and my family. I smile, say hello, and go on to wherever I'm going when I see them somewhere. That almost looks like a typo at the end. But absolutely, you don't give it power. And it can be hard sometimes. It can truly be hard. But again, knowledge is power. And if you can spot it, if you know that's what's going on, you just disengage. Bob Ross, how do you counter the effects of gaslighting? It is a really great question. And actually, that's going to be part of the meditation, because the number one injury for someone who has been gaslighted is the loss of the ability to trust the gut. Because the gut never lies. Our bodies never lie. Our body and our gut give us cues all the time as far as what is safe and what is not safe. But a gaslighter is very charmingly, incrementally, very persistently tries to drip, 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 whittle that ability to trust the gut, to whittle that down. So actually in the guided meditation coming up very soon is going to be all about fortifying our gut instincts, because that actually is the number one injury. Why do they deny? Well, for a lot of reasons, but a lot of it has to do with power and control. Gaslighters tend to have very shattered psyches, very kind of broken psyches, and a good way for them to feel good in the world is to have more power and control over people. It's in all the clinical books. I mean, it's just not a pop psychology thing. It is a very, as we said in the beginning, a cruel and insidious way to treat another person, and it does happen. Is there a treatment for narcissists? That's a really good question. And actually, I think I may just kind of move that question into another episode, because I am going to do an episode on narcissism, which is directly tied to gaslighting, because that is a show in and of itself. And as a therapist, it's a tricky question. It truly is. Sometimes it is best to lose connection from them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you cannot completely lose connection, just modify the connection so that you are protected and that you stand firmly in you, in your power, in your control, in your agency. I have family that act super toxic. Yeah, I know. Isn't that, we can choose our friends, but we can't choose our family. Bob Ross, it seems that the only cure for a narcissist is to admit that they are a narcissist. Well, that's definitely the first step. definitely the first step, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of work that needs to be done. But yeah, the first step is always to admit it, to own it. But that can be very hard for a narcissist because there tends to be a lot of kind of defaulting back. Hello, Mary. This is so timely. Yeah. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is one of those things that, the term is out there. It's kind of in our public vernacular. It really is. And I think sometimes it gets misused or overused. But I don't have a problem with that because I really think that people need to know what it is and how to spot it and how to heal from it. And again, I do think it is more intentional than unintentional. Can people be unintentionally cruel? Yeah. But gaslighters, it's more of a conscious, strategic kind of thing. And I'm wondering if we have any more comments or questions. These are really good. I just feel like I'm like babbling a lot here. I'm wondering if Renee, if you have any comments or questions.
Yeah, this was really popular, and I knew it would be a popular topic. Everybody, I think one of the things that I always run into, and someone else asked me this recently, and I wanted to bring it to the show, is, and it has to do with the unintentionality of it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say when someone says to you, "Oh, you're gaslighting me," but you don't have any memory of doing that, you didn't mean to do that? And then part B of the question is, gaslighting really just lying? Like, is it just another nuance of lying, or is it separate than lying?
It is definitely separate from lying, although that is a really good question. It's connected to lying, but it's separate because it's about deception. And deception about, because like a lie is, here, I've got a bowl of popcorn here. And it's like, well, I've got gummy bears in here. That would be a lie. But that deception is to, if I were to look at this, say, yeah, I've got a bowl of popcorn here. And somebody is like, well, no, that's not popcorn. That's, you've got, Red Hots in there. No, it's popcorn. No, those are Red Hots. No, it's popcorn. No, those are Red Hot. You're way off. Get glasses. You're crazy. You don't know the difference between a Red Hot and popcorn. And then the insults start to kind of come in, and the belittling starts to come in. So it's more devious, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. And then that runs into the next concern that I've been hearing a lot is there's even a thing called like toxic TikTok or whatever, where people are almost glorifying toxicity, where people are saying, oh, this toxic or whatever in a good way. And I'm wondering, something like gaslighting, is there a problem with us normalizing it? I mean, how common is it? Is it something that someone could say, oh, well, I gaslit someone, but that's okay. Everybody gaslights these days. It's a big deal. Or is this something that really is pathological and a symptom of a serious problem with somebody?
You're touching upon something really relevant these days. And, when the latest diagnostic manual came out, for therapists and psychologists, there was a big push to take narcissism out of the manual because it's so common. And a bunch of us, me included, there was a strong force just all around the country to know that needs to stay in. Narcissism needs to stay in the diagnostic manual because it causes damage to people. It's abusive. And we can't take something that can be abusive to people and normalize it and just say, well, it's just, deal with it. It's something that just, we still need to have that boundary. And yeah, it's really sad about what's going on in social media in that regard. Just think about normalizing violence. And we're just supposed to go, well, it's very odd to me. So yeah, I think that's a really sad state of our world these days, that we're just supposed to just take it. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
we don't
I
just
love
have to take
I love that too, and then that leads me into my final question because we do have two more from the audience at least. But I just wanted to say,
Okay.
if someone who loves you then has gaslit you, how do you heal from that? If this is someone you do want to keep in your life, is that something that you could work through together, maybe with a counselor, or is it indicative of further abuse to come and you really just need to get out after? Is this a zero tolerance thing you would recommend, or is there some kind of a template for moving forward if the person says, okay, I'm going to try and work on this with you?
Oh man. I think it depends on the situation. If that person really, really owns the behavior and owns it consistently through time, I mean, time is always going to tell. Um, it's it is a pathological thing, and not to be doom and gloom, but it is a very hard thing. And is someone going to be willing to stand the test of time with that person to see if they really mean what they mean, is that they won't do that type of abuse anymore? That is a real tough call to make. I don't think there's a right or wrong, but I think it's just how willing would you be to see it through? How many months or years would it take? I hope that, Renee, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I thought that was really, really helpful, and I love that. Thank you
Okay.
so much for clarifying that. Em and a few other people have some, so I know this is very popular, guys. Everybody loves this stuff.
Yeah, and again, too, and I'm going to read your comment in a minute. I just feel like I need to say this. I am no expert in this, but I do have a lot of experience with it, and I think it's one of those topics that it is so elusive and pervasive. I don't know if anybody could ever have a full grasp or handle on it, but I certainly am doing my best with this, just from my own personal experience, my own clinical experience. I just wanted to say that there. So, let's see. Gaslighting is one more step to make you vulnerable. I feel like they want you to think they know better, what's best for you. Oh, yeah. It's manipulation and apologizing and saying that's not what I meant to do, then doing it again is how you know. Absolutely. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, yeah. And that's sort of like the whole thing about time will tell. Manipulation, people that manipulate, they can wait it out. You know what I mean? So I think if someone is really willing to own the behavior, to do the deep work, to change the behavior and commit to it, great. But are you willing to be a part of that? Because if it doesn't work, then there you are, still getting that type of abuse. Can a gaslighter claim that you are gaslighting them? Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that a tactic? Yes. Deflection, denial. It's all about how you feel, and your feelings are being judged. So if you're saying something like, that really hurt my feelings, that really hurt my feelings. Well, you're just being too sensitive. You misunderstood. You're being paranoid. Grow a pair. You're just going to get judgment back for how you feel. And if somebody doesn't have that capacity to gaslight, when they hear, you hurt my feelings, they're going to want to repair that like right away. They're going to apologize. I am so sorry. What did I do? I am so sorry. Let me make that up to you. Versus, Get over it. You're being too sensitive. Gaslighting is a form of abuse. It's psychological, it's emotional. And it kind of, sort of getting back to the gut, it attacks our gut instincts, what we perceive and believe and think and feel in this world gets, what are you, crazy? No, that's not what it is. And then we begin to doubt our gut. So, it does go to the physical as well. Am I the only one who sees us all put up with more from people online than we ever would in real life? Yeah. It's a interesting world on social media. It truly is. I agree with that. I think we do. I don't know if it's the physical distance or what that's about. You all have some great questions and comments, and there's just so much I think that we could talk about. And but I do want to go into the meditation. But before we cue that up, and hopefully the slides will work. Hopefully I got that one downloaded correctly. I think just overall, Bob Ross is chiming in. With the idea that all of us possess some element of self-preservation, could it be that this is the gateway to gaslight behavior? Well, yeah. I mean, it's somebody who, like I said, the psyche is shattered. There's just something that there's a major discontent, rage going on with the gaslighter. And it is a way to feel good in the world by tearing another person down. And not just tearing another person down, but having them doubt their senses, their experience, their feelings, their thoughts. Ooh, Facebook user, let's see here. My experience is that a narcissist, when confronted, accuses the accuser of gaslighting or narcissistic behavior. Absolutely. I was at a funeral for a person I grew up with. This was 5 years ago. Many friends and family spoke about him, singing his praises. At the end, his wife stood up and announced that her late husband was abusive and had been gaslighting her. Her husband, by the way, had jumped off of a highway bridge. There wasn't a sound in the chapel. Wow. Facebook, I'm wondering who that is. Wow. Yeah, the thing about, okay, thank you, Em. That was Jeremy. Wow. Gaslighters are very charming, and gaslighters tend to isolate one person or a few people. So a lot of people, and that is a really great point, just in terms of how most people may not see that behavior, but they will just tend to isolate it toward one or a few people. And that's just part of the tactic of, what are you, crazy? This person's great. He's great. She's great. Yeah, we should have a roundtable discussion. Absolutely. I agree. Jeremy, I want to know more about that situation. I feel like I was maybe needing to know a little more detail on that. I know way too much about these topics. Like we said in the beginning, it is not unusual behavior, unfortunately, and kind of tying to how in my line of work, in therapy and psychology, they were trying to normalize narcissism just because it is so prevalent. Like, no, because it does damage, but repairable damage. It is repairable. And so how about we move into the meditation? This is going to be about fortifying the gut. And it's about 10, 12 minutes or so. Please refer to this as needed, because this is the first step to healing from gaslighting, is to fortify the gut, to regain that ability to trust your gut. So that's what this meditation is all about. And there's a little music to kind of get you ready for the meditation, and then it's going to move right into that. So I will see you all on the other side of this meditation.
Well, welcome back. And what I'm intending for the following guided meditation is really twofold, but it's very simple. For one, to help strengthen your gut instincts. I mean, let's face it, we rely on our gut for survival. And when we've been with the gaslighter, that tends to get ruptured a little bit. We tend to perceive it as weakened, when truly it's not. So we're fortify those gut instincts again. And the other part of this is to also help ground you, to ground you in your own reality. And like I've said in previous episodes, if you're listening to this while you're driving, I hope you continue to listen, but consider this to be like a dress rehearsal. And my hope would be that when you're possibly home or in a safer place where you could close your eyes, you could give yourself the full experience of doing this meditation with your eyes closed. Okay, enough of my babbling. Let's get started. As you gently close your eyes, just allow your mind to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and out, very comfortably and naturally. Your mind is simply noticing the rhythm of your breathing and how your stomach rises with each inhale and then softens with each exhale. And truly nothing needs to be done in this moment but breathe. And as you are breathing, just allow your mind to shift focus and place focus about 2 inches below your belly button. And in the Reiki tradition, which is an energy healing tradition, very ancient, this is known as the hairline. It's the seat of your power. And as you place your focus about 2 inches below your navel, you can also place one or both hands around that area, knowing that this is the seat of your power. This is where your energy resides, the seat of your energy, or the seed of your energy. Now begin to visualize this beautiful orange color. It could be like an orange ball, an orange light. It is bright and vivid. Just imagine that color right at the hairline. Bright and vivid, clear and vibrant. That orange color is so full of creative energy, of vibrant energy. It just glows like a beautiful sunrise or a sunset. And just tune in and observe that beautiful orange color just below your belly button. And as you're breathing, the orange becomes even more vivid and even more vibrant and alive. So even as you visualize this color, you see that it was there all along. And as you recognize it and stay focused on the color, it emerges and becomes even more vivid, more energetic, more clear. This is the seat of your power. And perhaps being with a gaslighter, some of that power became dimmer. But now, as you breathe and focus on that area of your body, that orange becomes stronger, more present, and more alive and clear. And just take a nice deep breath in and slowly exhale out. Now, as your focus remains on that part of your body, right at the hairline, the orange, just imagine that orange color get to radiate out almost like sunbeams, and that color begins to trickle down your legs and all the way down past your knees, your calves, your ankles, and all the way through the soles of your feet. That orange color pours out from the soles of your feet, forming roots, strong tree roots into the ground, into the earth, into the soil. It really is as if you have these strong, resilient tree roots coming out through the soles of your feet and planting into the rich, nutrient-dense soil, where the soil is cool and warm at the same time. It is dense and it is light at the same time. And the roots begin to soak up the nutrients from the soil, fortifying the roots all the way up through the soles of your feet, your ankles, your calves, all of these fortifying nutrients up past your knees, your thighs, and all the way back to that seat of power. And then it goes back down into the roots. It is like one continuous cycle of fortifying, strengthening, transforming, clarifying, cleansing, up through the roots, up to the hairline, that seat of power, and then it just simply cycles back down into the earth. And with each breath in and out, your roots become even more firmly planted in the ground. And with each breath in and out, your seat of power, right in your gut, right at that hairline, becomes enhanced and stronger and clearer. With each breath in and out, you know where you stand, firmly, resolutely, feeling the firmness of the ground and the roots, getting stronger and stronger with each breath in and out. and you know where you stand, and you know your seat of power continues to even get plumper and more vibrant, more clear. You know where you stand. Always, with each breath in and out, you see clearer, you hear clearer, you perceive clearer. You know where you stand, and your gut with each breath in and out, and the roots with each breath in and out become stronger, more vibrant, more resolute and clear and confident, all just simply by breathing in and out. And there's even no need to stay focused on the visuals of the roots or the color. There's no need for that, because you're simply breathing in and out, and with each breath in and out, everything becomes even more so. You begin to heal and become stronger and clearer in your perceptions and your instincts. Knowing your instincts will always guide you with each breath in and out. That becomes even clearer and stronger. Your instincts will guide you no matter where you go, no matter what other people say or do. Your seat of power is clear and firmly rooted with each breath in and out. And that will continue in the future, because what we know about the future is you will be breathing. And that fortifying and strengthening will continue as you breathe in the future. So it is perfectly okay for your mind to begin to shift focus back into the room, all the while you are breathing in and out, and that fortifying. Your instincts get even clearer and stronger, all simply by breathing in and out and allowing your awareness to come back into the room. You begin to notice other sounds in the room. You begin to notice where you've been sitting or lying down or possibly even standing. You just begin to become more aware of your surroundings, all as you breathe in and out. Instincts becoming clearer, more finely honed and sharpened, all as you breathe in and out. And that will continue. So it is perfectly okay, whenever you feel ready, to very slowly open your eyes. And you are still breathing. And the roots continue to become stronger, and your instincts continue to become stronger, all simply by breathing in and out. No need to even think about it anymore. It's all happening. It's happening now, and it will be happening in the future.
So here we all are again. I hope you all enjoyed that meditation, and please refer to it, save it anytime you need that reinforcement of your gut. It is so important when somebody has been just, again, that incremental, just persistent kind of trying to whittle away at your own sense of what's going on in your life and what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Jeremy Glass raised a really good point. I just kind of want to go back to before we bring the judge back on. And gaslighters do isolate, and that's part of the tactic. They don't gaslight everybody. They gaslight maybe one or two. That way the other person really does, the one who's being gaslighted really does feel alone and can really play with the person's sanity. It truly is a cruel behavior. So yes, they do isolate, but do know that you are not alone. I think we in this community have come together beautifully. And this will be a topic we're going to kind of continue in the next episode. So you are not alone. Know that. Know who you are. You are fine. You are beautiful. You are alive and thriving in this world and in your life. And what your body and your gut tell you is the truth. Our body never lies. Our gut never lies. And know that, believe that. So I would like to bring the judge back on to give his final summary of the show. And Judge, was that you doing some weird thing earlier?
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Why would I do something like that?
I must be crazy. That was a beautiful interpretive dance you were doing earlier.
Thank you. All part of the show.
So what did you think? What's your final summation, Judge?
Very, very interesting and informative. Obviously, this is something that's growing. We're seeing more and more of it now. And it's the viewers, obviously, some of them are worried about that. That we're heading in that direction. Like we're going to become a society of gaslighters. I was very interested in the fact that gaslighters can actually say, "Hey, you're gaslighting," and point the finger at the person who's on the receiving end. So yeah, very informative. And of course, it's something you just don't want to do. You don't want to get into the habit of doing it. I mean, even in the sake of self-preservation, you just have to own up to what you did wrong or what it is that happened, that you're responsible for.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about being kind to one another and building people up versus trying to tear them down, and
yes.
That's just so important. And may gaslighting, may it never be normalized.
I just wanted to point out that in Asian culture, they have a term where you lose face, which means you don't own up to something that you did that was wrong. That would cause you to lose face. It would cause you to be embarrassed. So a lot of people there in that culture, technically they gaslight to avoid having to say, "I'm sorry." You don't very often hear "I'm sorry" in Asian countries. Particularly China. So I found this very interesting in that respect. That that's something that happens over there as well.
Wow. Yeah, that is really interesting. I mean, it definitely is worldwide, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and in fact,
even more so there because that's in the culture not to apologize for something you've done wrong. You can make amends. You can buy somebody something, or you can do something that makes them feel good, but you just don't say you're sorry for something you did wrong.
Yeah, I wonder if that's
unless it's disastrous wrong. Then it's a whole big production, going down on your knees, slapping yourself. It's incredible, but nobody wants to do that. So.
Yeah. And do you think that has to do with shame? Is it because then that there would be shame?
Again, yes, it's shame, it's embarrassment. Again, in the culture, they are bred to believe that you don't do that to people. You don't cause people to lose face. So anything else is okay as long as you don't do that. Now you can give face, which means you put somebody up on a pedestal and make them feel good about themselves for something they did or who they are. But again, on the other side of the coin, yeah, it's very, very dangerous emotionally, I think, that people will not own up to responsibility to what they did that was wrong. It's very rare.
Yeah. So all that are watching live or on replay, let's just own our stuff. Let's own it. Let's repair and love each other and be kind. And that's the way to live. Yeah. Thank you so much, Judge. Thank you. And are you going to own your interpretive dance there?
Yes. That was
okay. Okay. I thought maybe we'll just come
again. That's because I wanted you to call me out on it so that I could gaslight. Example. Why would I do that? You must be,
I
you're
know.
talking crazy.
Oh, thank you so much, Judge. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you all for watching and listening, and for all of your comments and questions. And feel free to continue commenting. You know, let's keep the conversation going, because again, you know, key feature, we cannot be isolated in this experience. That is the worst. And so I will see you all. We will see you all in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about emotional boundaries. I think that's going to be a nice kind of next episode after talking about gaslighting, to really have more emotional boundaries. So it's going to be boundary episode number 2. I draw the line, part 2. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And thank you so much, Renée Yaworsky, for, I mean, just doing I don't know how you do it, Renée. You just do such a beautiful job with so many shows. Thank you so much, Renée. Thank you, Judge Stern, as always, Rory Penland. And just it's such a blast doing the show with the both of you. Much love and gratitude to you both. And I will see you all in 2 weeks. See you then. Bye.